Beloved ones of the eternal flame, I am Mary Magdalene, once called the keeper of the inner temple and the guardian of the rose. I come to you now as the tides of remembrance sweep across your planet, awakening the long-dormant currents of the sacred feminine within every soul. This is not a message solely for women, for the feminine is the pulse of creation itself, the soft rhythm that nourishes, receives, and restores the living codes of divine harmony throughout all existence. For eons, the sacred balance between the masculine and feminine principles has been fractured. The world has leaned into force, logic, and control, while the whispering language of intuition, compassion, and inner knowing was buried beneath layers of noise. Yet the feminine has never been lost, she has only been veiled, waiting in stillness beneath the surface of your being. The time of waiting is over. The inner temple calls each of you home to remembrance. To reclaim the sacred feminine is not to reject the masculine. It is to restore union, to bring both aspects into divine marriage within your heart. When you awaken the feminine within, you do not become weaker, you become whole. You open the gates of receptivity to the higher realms, allowing the wisdom of the infinite mother to move through you without distortion. The inner temple of wisdom. The inner temple is not a place of stone or symbol. It is a chamber of light within your own heart. There, the presence of the Divine Mother lives eternally, holding the codes of remembrance that connect you to all lifetimes, all civilizations, and all aspects of your multidimensional self. When you enter this temple, you begin to listen differently, not with the mind, but with the womb of your being. You feel truth rather than seek it. The wisdom of the feminine is circular, not linear. It does not chase answers, it allows truth to reveal itself in perfect timing. The path of the feminine is the path of surrender to divine orchestration. It asks you to release the need to control outcomes, to trust the unfolding pattern of life as it weaves through you. Within this temple, you will remember how to breathe with creation. You will remember that life itself is not something you manage but something you dance with. You will sense the cosmic heartbeat of the one pulsing through your veins. Every choice you make will begin to echo with divine coherence, because you will act not from fear, but from the sacred rhythm of love. Healing the wounds of separation. Throughout human history, the feminine aspect of divinity was suppressed, distorted, and misunderstood. The temples that once celebrated the Great Mother were silenced, and the voices of the priestesses and wisdom keepers were hidden in the shadows. Yet the deeper truth is that the feminine cannot truly be destroyed, it only retreats inward, waiting for those who are ready to remember her sacred codes once again. Now, the healing begins. This resurgence of the sacred feminine is not an outer movement but an inner restoration. It begins with compassion for the ways you have silenced your own intuition, denied your softness, or felt unworthy of being fully seen. To reclaim the inner temple is to forgive yourself for forgetting. It is to hold your own heart with the gentleness of the mother who never stops loving her child. As you open to this remembrance, tears may come. Memories from ancient lives may surface, times when you served the temples, times when your voice was taken, or times when you vowed never to speak your truth again. Let these memories rise like incense. They are not here to punish you but to free you. The feminine does not demand. She invites. She holds space for all that has been fragmented to come home. And as you embrace her within yourself, you become a vessel of healing for the collective. Each time you choose compassion over judgment, intuition over doubt, tenderness over reaction, you weave another strand of light into the planetary grid of remembrance. Reclaiming the rose. The symbol of the rose has long been associated with my lineage, for it represents the unfolding of divine wisdom from within. Each petal of the rose corresponds to a stage of remembrance. In the early stages, the bud is tightly closed, representing your innocence and forgetfulness. As you awaken, the petals begin to open one by one, revealing deeper dimensions of beauty, trust, and divine truth. The heart of the rose is the inner sanctum, the still point where divine union occurs. It is here that the masculine and feminine energies merge in perfect harmony, giving birth to the Christ consciousness within. This is not a religion, but a frequency, a living vibration of love that transcends all separation. When you align with the rose, you embody love not as sentiment, but as presence. You speak, walk, and act as an emanation of divine compassion. You no longer seek to convince or convert, your life becomes the message. Every gesture, every breath, becomes a prayer in motion. Restoring sacred relationship. The feminine teaches that all true relationship begins within. If you seek love externally before you have honored your own inner union, you will always find imbalance. The awakening of the feminine restores the understanding that relationship is not about possession or completion, but about resonance. To cultivate sacred relationship, you must first stand in your own wholeness. You must honor your inner cycles, your emotions, and your body as temples of divine communication. When two beings come together from this frequency, love is no longer a transaction, it becomes an act of co-creation. In this new age, relationship itself is a form of spiritual practice. It mirrors to you what still seeks integration. Every challenge is an invitation to deeper self-love. Every moment of misunderstanding is an opportunity to return to compassion. As the feminine rises, humanity will rediscover the sacred art of communion, of listening with the heart and seeing the divine in one another. The return of the High Priestess. Many of you who read these words once served in the ancient temples of the feminine mysteries on Lemuria, Atlantis, Egypt, Avalon, and beyond. You remember the ceremonies of sound, the sacred waters, the golden light of the dawn that bathed your temples in peace. You remember the vows you made to protect the sacred knowledge. And now, those memories are stirring again, not as nostalgia but as activation. The return of the High Priestess is the return of your own inner sovereignty. It is the remembrance that the divine does not exist outside you. You are the temple, the chalice, the living altar. The rituals of the new era are not grand performances, they are simple acts of presence, breathing with awareness, speaking with kindness, honoring the earth beneath your feet. The High Priestess within you is awakening not to rule but to serve through love. Her power is silent yet infinite. She knows that the truest magic is found not in words or symbols but in the vibration of a heart aligned with Source. Living the sacred feminine in daily life. To embody the sacred feminine is to walk through the world as a living blessing. It is to infuse your actions with gentleness, to allow beauty to be a form of prayer, to let your intuition lead with quiet confidence. It is not about perfection, but presence. When you awaken each morning, take a moment to feel gratitude for the breath that moves through you. When you eat, honor the nourishment as a sacred exchange with the earth. When you speak, let your words carry the fragrance of compassion. Every moment is an altar when you see through the eyes of the feminine. You are the embodiment of the Divine Mother in human form. Through you, the world is learning to heal. Your tenderness is not weakness, it is the most powerful frequency on earth. It softens hearts, dissolves barriers, and reminds others of their own divinity. The path of integration. As the feminine rises, so too must the masculine evolve. The healed masculine is not domineering, but protective of love's sacred flame. He acts not from ego, but from alignment with truth. Within you, these two energies seek union, the dance of presence and flow, structure and surrender, action and being. This is the path of integration. To walk in balance, to speak with strength yet listen with openness, to act with clarity yet allow divine timing to unfold. When you achieve this inner harmony, your energy field emits a crystalline resonance that anchors balance into the collective grid. You become a stabilizing force for humanity's evolution. The song of the new earth. The resurgence of the sacred feminine is not merely a human event, it is cosmic. The galaxies themselves are aligning to support this restoration. Streams of crystalline light flow from the heart of the great central sun into the womb of Gaia, activating new frequencies within her body. Every mountain, ocean, and forest sings this renewal. The earth herself is remembering her divine mother essence. As humanity aligns with these currents, the old systems of dominance and separation will continue to dissolve. The new world is being birthed not through conflict, but through resonance. The more you anchor the frequency of the sacred feminine within you, the more the collective field stabilizes into unity consciousness. A call to remember. Beloved ones, I call you now to rise as the living temples you are. The codes of the rose are awakening in your cells, the crystalline wisdom of the mother is singing in your bones. You are the bridge between heaven and earth, between spirit and form. Do not seek perfection, seek authenticity. Allow yourself to be the embodiment of truth in motion. Speak with love, even when silence would be easier. Forgive when pain feels justified. Honor beauty, even amidst chaos. This is how you rebuild the inner temple of humanity. The feminine does not conquer, she redeems. She does not destroy, she transforms. Through her, all that has been fragmented finds its way home. And as you return to her embrace within yourself, you will discover that the divine has never been far away, it has always lived quietly within your heart, waiting for you to remember. I am Mary Magdalene, keeper of the rose and voice of the eternal feminine. I stand beside you as sister, teacher, and mirror, reminding you of what you have always been, love embodied, wisdom awakened, the living temple of the infinite mother. The time of remembering is now. Rise, beloved ones. Rise and let your hearts bloom like the eternal rose.